He had nothing, no savings, no plan, no idea that the worst morning of his life was about to become the most important one. This is the story of Jack Miller, a 24-year-old delivery driver in Chicago who woke up one Tuesday in November with $47 in his checking account, $4,800 in credit card debt, and a truck that would not start. By the time this story ends, he will have $20,000 in savings, 0 bad debt, and 3 trucks running routes across the South Side. 1 year, 1 rule, 1 old man in an auto shop who changed everything. If you have ever felt like you were working hard but going nowhere, stay with me. What happened to Jack is not a fairy tale. It is a formula. And by the end of this video, you will have every single piece of it. Before we go any further, drop a comment right now and tell me one word that describes your financial situation today. Just one word. I read every single one. And if you want more stories like this every week, hit subscribe and the notification bell. This channel is built for people who are ready to stop surviving and start building. Now let's get back to Jack. Jack Miller grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment in Cicero, just outside Chicago. His mother worked double shifts at a commercial laundry service. His father had been out of the picture since Jack was 11. There was no savings account in that house. There was no conversation about 401ks or Roth IRAs or credit scores. There was only the next bill and the prayer that the paycheck would cover it. By the time Jack was 24, he had absorbed every financial habit his childhood had taught him. Spend when you have it, borrow when you do not, make it work somehow. He was driving delivery routes for a third-party logistics contractor, taking home about $2,800 a month after taxes. His rent was $950. His car payment on a used Ford Transit that was already showing serious age was $380. He had 2 credit cards. One carried a $2,200 balance, the other had $2,600. Both were near their limits. Both carried interest rates above 22%. He was not lazy. That needs to be said clearly. Jack worked hard. He was on the road by 6 in the morning most days. He rarely called in sick. He took every overtime route the company offered. But every single month, after rent, after the car payment, after minimum credit card payments, after gas and groceries and the occasional fast food because he was too exhausted to cook, there was nothing left. Sometimes less than nothing. He had $47 in his checking account and no savings of any kind. November came early that year, cold and gray the way Chicago Novembers always are. On a Tuesday morning, his phone buzzed at 5:48 a.m. He assumed it was his alarm. It was not. It was an email from HR. Subject line: Employment Status Update. He had been let go. The company was restructuring. His route was being absorbed into an automated dispatch system. He had 2 weeks of severance. After that, nothing. He sat on the edge of his bed in the dark and stared at the floor. Then he did what any reasonable person would do. He got dressed, got downstairs, and tried to start his truck. It would not start. Not a slow crank, not a rough idle, complete silence. He stood on the sidewalk in 28-degree cold and just laughed. Not because it was funny, because he had no other response left. The universe had chosen this exact morning to deliver both punches at once. He called his landlord that afternoon and explained the situation. The truck, the job, the 30 days. He explained, even asking if there was any way to pay installments, maybe $50 a week. He was not proud asking this, but he was asking. The old man studied him for a long moment. Then he said, "Come inside, I will make coffee." Jack expected to be turned away. Instead, he found himself sitting in a small back office surrounded by engine catalogs and framed photographs, holding a mug of black coffee while Elias looked over the paperwork Jack had brought in. His last 3 pay stubs, the severance letter, a handwritten summary of his monthly expenses. "You want to know what I see?" Elias said. Jack nodded. "I see a man who has been working for everyone except himself." Jack did not know what to say to that. Elias leaned back in his chair. He had the kind of stillness that develops in men who have spent decades not needing to prove anything to anyone. "I spent 22 years on Wall Street," he said. "Derivatives, fixed income, risk management, the whole machine. You know what I learned? The people who end up with nothing are not the ones who earn the least. They are the ones who spend everything they earn, every time they earn it, in the wrong order. The sequence matters. Sequence is everything."